When it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl searching for the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl. When it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl. Get into the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl.
Hey everyone, it's Crystal. It's your red-pilled brown girl coming at you. I'm gonna get it together. You know, I'm trying to get Insta up. Y'all already know how it works. Okay. Hey guys. It's your red-pilled brown girl coming at you guys today. I told y'all yesterday that we were going to talk about our boy being in court. And okay, I'm really trying to deal with this as a mature adult, right? Because there's nothing that we can do. He's kind of in court, right? We can't really do anything. I hate that he has to deal with this. I am super, super, super stoked about the fact that he's gonna be doing something in the Bronx. So Trump is actually getting ready to do a rally in the Bronx, and people are gonna be so freaking stoked because y'all, he is just one of the dopest people. Like he legit really is. Like he is so cool, and I am so excited about it. I think they don't understand, or they are underestimating the fact that like people are waking up and people are understanding that he's being mistreated. Like how you are 77 years old, right? You're 77 years old, never been in trouble in your life, never been in trouble with the law, never been accused of like getting into any crime. You've lived just an impeccable life. Like, I just find it like the fact that people are just kind of jumping on the bandwagon that Trump is somehow this like criminal. And you even see it in these like churches and stuff. They're talking about he has 91 felony count. Like who really believes anything like with these felonies? This man is 77 years old, has lived a life that is so impeccable. Like seriously, he has lived a life that a lot of us just would envy because of how well his life was lived. And y'all somehow want us to believe that he has 91 felonies. Like really, are we really that stupid? And I see it like in churches, and people like talk about it, and they're like, oh yeah, he's a criminal, like who actually believes that this man is a criminal? Who? Well, we found out that the people that were around him, just like the movies, the people who are supposed to be your friend, the people that's supposed to be looking out for you, like are the ones that are the actual criminals. Michael Cohen, he is a disgusting. I can't even, y'all, he makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Like seriously. Like Michael Cohen is the worst. Like in history, like this man's legacy will be that he is just a snitch and a liar and a thief, a disloyal human being. Like, and y'all, to be that as a female is bad, but to be that as a man, like you might as well kill yourself. I'm seriously, to be that as a dude. dishonest, disloyal, can't even sleep at night. Like, what are your children going to say about you? What are your grandchildren going to say about you? Like, you are disgusting. So come to find out, so they finish his testimony. I don't know what the prosecution was thinking of putting up this loser witness, but they put Michael Cohen up, and everybody was talking about his testimony on Friday and last week. But the testimony today, surprisingly, you can't get really much on it. Nobody really wants to talk about the fact that this man is a thief. He is a thief and a liar. Like, and he like said it like flat out, like, this is what happened. You guys, I was sitting up there trying to research and find something where somebody reads the transcript of Michael Cohen, and I could literally only find one video. It's almost like the media. Y'all already know how we feel about the media. The media they are trying to bury this because they know what it will mean in this case. Like, seriously. So I found these guys, and they're not politically where we at, but I actually think that it's funny because even people who are liberal are actually agreeing that this man is disgusting. Watch this.
Through face. And by the way, the fact that he was never charged with larceny is important because stealing $60,000 through fraud, which would be larceny in New York State, is more serious of a crime than falsifying business records.
More serious of a crime than falsifying business records. Also, just so everybody is 100% clear, I'm going to read you a direct transcript from the trial. So you stole from the Trump organization, right? Trump's lawyer asked Cohen. Yes, sir. That's what he said. It's like you can't even make this up. He also later testified that he stole as a form of self-help in response to Trump slashing his bonus from the $50,000 bonus that he received to the $150,000 that he had previously received. He says, I was angered because of the reduction, so I just felt like it was a form of almost like self-help. And he admits, so you stole. He said, yes, I stole. He said that under oath. But he's given immunity by the prosecutors, Ryan.
I looked it up. Statute of limitations on grand larceny in New York is 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Y'all, oh my God. You cannot make this. You can't make this stuff up. Like, you can. Y'all, I'm trying. You cannot make this stuff up. Oh my God. Hey, my people on YouTube. Wounds, Angel Wings, my girl out there. Matthew, that's my hubby, y'all. So when you see him in the chats, that's my boo. That's my boo. Anyway, oh my God. Y'all, we can't make this up. We can't make this up. This is almost like a Fannie Willis story. Like, these people are so dishonest. They are, and the irony of them trying to prove that Donald Trump, who has been a law-abiding citizen for 70-something years, is dishonest. The irony of this whole thing, he stole $60,000 from the Trump organization. And because, so Michael Cohen actually went to jail for perjury. So he perjured himself. So he was afraid to perjure himself again, obviously. And plus he was granted immunity. So I know everybody getting immunity except for Trump. Yes, exactly. So he was granted immunity so he could tell the honest to God truth. So he goes on the stand and they ask him, so you stole from President Trump? And he literally says, yes, I stole from my boss. I stole $60,000 from my employer. First of all, you should be going to jail for that. That is grand larceny. And then he goes on to say, well, I felt like I deserved it. So, this is what I would like to say about the whole Michael Cohen thing, besides the fact that he's a disgusting human being. And I'll keep saying it, is when you have people, when you're a real person, recognize real, right? You know, Trump is a real dude. Love him or hate him, that's a real, that's a real nigga. Nigga ain't got nothing to do with, skin color. Trump is a real nigga. He is. He from New York. He got a little, hood to him. He's a real nigga. So when people were hanging out with him or people around him, you start to feel and this guy, Michael Cohen is trying to be around him, trying to be in his organization, trying to be his Mr. Fix-It, and probably he was fine. He's probably fine in the beginning. But when people start switching it up, I mean, y'all seen New Jack City, right? When, y'all seen New Jack City? When people start switching it up and you're like, hold on, and they starting to move different. I know y'all seen Belly, and you see when, like, they start to move different and you just like, hold on, you're not the same. Like, what happened to you? The feds got you talking to the feds, something's going on. And Michael Cohen started to record him. Like, first of all, like, why is your lawyer recording you? Michael Cohen started to steal money from him, start to stack money, start to do all these things that just cause you to not trust a person, and then gets mad when Trump doesn't use him anymore. Because, you shady, and you're showing you are shady. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Exactly. Wounds, you said Trump isn't perfect, but the attacks on him are ridiculous. Absolutely. He's a human being. He's a human being. And when somebody is starting to cross you, you feel it. Especially if you're a real dude, you've been hanging around people for a really long time, and you've been in business for a while. Let me tell you, ain't nobody shadier than New York business. New York business is as shady as your life will ever get. Let me tell you. Like, it prepared Trump for politics because New York business is so shady. And so you can tell when a person started to move different. And Michael Cohen started to move different, and Trump started to cut his losses with him. Sorry, bro. That's just the way it goes. So then they call Robert Costello. So Robert Costello starts to almost starts to replace Michael Cohen. They tried to work together at some point in time, but Robert Costello was like, he probably was like, yo, you need to cut this dude because he's a loser, like talking about Michael Cohen. And so I guess Trump decided to cut ties with him, rightfully so. And Michael Cohen, like a wounded lover, starts to snitch, telling all these things. Like, he worse than Cassie. I mean, like, he's such a girl. Anyway, so the defense calls Robert Costello to say what was going on. And so Robert Costello starts to testify that Michael Cohen is a dishonest person. Anything that he told, so whatever he asked Michael Cohen, did Trump know anything about it? And Michael Cohen, according to him, says, no, I'm doing it on my own. Trump doesn't know anything about it. So the defense calls him, but he's visibly irritated, right? So he's irritated. And the judge, starts reprimanding him on the stand. Well, you already know how I feel about Judge Juan Merchan, not an American. Juan Merchan, not an American. He should already recuse himself. His daughter works for the Democrat Party, and I'm going to keep saying it because I think people are not understanding how bad this trial is. Juan Merchan is already a dishonest person. Him and his family probably came across the border illegally years ago, and now he's ending up in our justice system, and he doesn't understand how things work here. You recuse yourself if you know that there is a conflict of interest, or even the very appearance of a conflict of interest. You recuse yourself. But yet and still, Juan Merchan decides to preside over this trial. So Robert Costello is just irritated, which anybody, if you are a Trump loyalist or if you are just an American loyalist and you see the BS that's going on with this trial, it's irritating. It is, to see your resources being thrown down the drain. So many people in that. I mean, think about it. You're in this courtroom. The judge is getting paid. The bailiffs are getting paid. The person who's recording, the court recorder, the court reporter, all these people are getting paid on the American tax dollar, all for this foolishness when they can be out there taking care of the schools, the roads, the crime, the grocery, everything, right? So it's irritating. And then they're asking him questions about a man who has done nothing wrong. So he gets pulled into this trial. Robert Costello is irritated, like I would be. So Juan Merchan makes this whole, I'm going to hold you in contempt. And then it's reported that he actually sends everybody out and still keeps it recorded and says, I'm going to hold you in contempt. I'm going to tell the jury to strike your testimony if you don't stop staring me down. Just fool. Like, y'all, this is a banana republic. Saying that Robert Costello is staring him down. Like, what are we doing, you guys? And that's why I'm so upset that they didn't allow cameras into this courtroom, because now we're having to base it on media that's very, very biased. And honestly, I don't trust it at all. But if Robert Costello was staring him down, he said, "Sheesh, good Lord." He kept saying those kind of things because this is foolish, you guys. This is really, really foolish. And anybody who's real, anybody who cares about this country, anybody who loves New York, anybody who is a Trump loyalist is not going to be down for that. It's going to be irritating. So I'm not shocked at all. I think that this trial is really just one of the saddest things in America right now, to see how we are going down. I was watching this lady today, and it was so amazing. She was on Real America's Voice. I'm trying to find her name. I'm about to find it. But she actually was talking about how unserious or how not serious our country has become. I mean, seriously, this lady's name is, let me tell you what her name is. Karen Siegemund. And she started talking about, she's a part of American Freedom Alliance. And she was talking about the differences on how other countries view us, and how China has completely taken everything that was so good about our republic and started to implement it in their communistic society because they understand that it works. Can you imagine that something like our country, so great of a country, starts to be replicated in a communistic country, and we start replicating communistic behaviors? Like, we are just not a serious people. Our congressional people are not a serious people. Our president, oh my God, he's not a serious person at all. And then our court system, our justice system, is just not serious. And it's really embarrassing at this point, especially on the world stage. It makes me so sad. Speaking of world stage, Trump and Biden are they got 2 dates, you guys, that they're supposed to be debate. How many of you guys seriously think that this debate is going to happen? I honestly will believe it when I see it. Trump should not debate this guy. Like, first of all, Trump agreed that he's going to debate Biden, but Biden has to get a drug test. I just kind of feel like it's a waste of time. Like, it's a waste of time for Trump. Trump is making headways. People are seeing, people are suffering, and they want Trump back. I was talking to my cousin, and she's hood Baltimore, and she was like, "Bring back T Daddy." She was like, "Bring back T Daddy." She like she was saying how everybody in the hood especially are struggling. And that's what people don't understand. When rich people do well, everybody does well. When rich people are starting to lose a little bit money, it affects the poor way more than it affects the rich. And I don't think people really understand that. So everybody gets mad when Trump's like, "Oh, he's doing things for the rich." No, he's not doing things for the rich. He's doing things for the economy. He's doing things for the United States of America. Because when rich people do well, everybody does well. When you strengthen the middle class, everybody does well. That's just the way that it works. Democrats, since the beginning of time, have been trying to give the poor more and more money, and it does not strengthen the poor. To give them more money, to give them more entitlements, it does not strengthen the economy, and it doesn't even help the poor. That's the way it works. The Bible says the poor you will always have with you. So the economic strategy of the Democrats has hurt people so much, including black and white. It's ridiculous. And that's why they're working so hard to try to replace us, or replace Americans with the Hispanics. Anyway, you guys, I will get off my soapbox. Speaking of the president, let's talk about his Morehouse speech that he did. I thought it was really interesting because, blacks are so manipulated. Like, blacks are some of the most easiest people to manipulate, and it's so sad. You know what? Black people in general are easily manipulated, but imagine Morehouse. When you think about Morehouse, you think about one of the most phenomenal HBCUs. It is all male. It's one of the strongest HBCUs, has one of the strongest legacy. These are the best and the brightest, and they invited President Biden or Joe Biden to come to give their commencement address, and this is what he brought with him. You guys, watch this, y'all.
Many of you have gone through similar or worse and even worse things, but you lean on others. They lean on you, and together you keep the faith in a better day tomorrow. But it's not easy. I know 4 years ago, as some of your speakers have already mentioned, it felt like one of those Saturdays. The pandemic robbed you of so much. Some of you lost loved ones, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, who aren't able to be here to celebrate with you today. You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? Betrayal of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
Shut up. Oh my God. It's the claps, y'all. It's the claps for me. It's the blacks, the best and the brightest, quote unquote, best and the brightest blacks clapping after having paid $30,000 a year in just tuition for Morehouse University. You have Mr. White Man president, come and tell you about a country that doesn't love you back. Black men are getting killed in the streets. Yes, and it ain't by white people. You're right, sir. Blacks are getting killed in the street. And it's by niggas. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It is not by white folks. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not by MAGA. You know, they like to blame us for everything. You are getting killed by other brown-skinned people. And then they're clapping, exactly, Matt, like they're clapping. Nothing like being told you're hopeless by the president at your graduation. Exactly. Rebel, like, for sure. And Kofi 19 said mumble mouth. Angel Wings, you said child. Like, we can't even deal with this, y'all. Like, the president is telling the best and the brightest. And then, y'all, don't even get me started on the George Floyd. Are we still, y'all... All the stuff that's come out about this George Floyd, y'all still think he was killed? Is that the rumor on the streets? I'm sorry, I don't hang out in the hood. Is the hood still saying George Floyd was murdered? Or do we all know? Is the jig up? The jig is up, okay? The jig is up. George Floyd was not murdered. George Floyd got caught in the game. I'm sorry, he had a heart attack because he was on fentanyl. Sorry, he wasn't murdered. And so the fact that the best and the brightest of the blacks are sitting here listening to this man clap, they're clapping. There were a few that was reported, a few of the black men that turned their chair around. And I was really, really proud that they did that in protest. They were like, we're not listening to Mr. White Man tell us that this country doesn't love us back. Like, really? I was born here. This is my country. Black, white, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. Like, we are Americans. Like he just makes me so mad. And it's the bougie blacks that get on my nerves the most, y'all. It's the bougie ones that act like, you haven't had any opportunity when you actually are going to a $30,000 school. Like, what more opportunity you need, ma'am, sir? Like, y'all, I can't believe the blacks is still falling for this. And then he says countless promises that have been broken. Yes, by the Democrats, by your people. Shorty, oh my God. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Maria. Seriously, he said promises that have been broken. Yes, by people with a D on their name. Like, the Democrats have broken the and the fact that the brown-skinned people just eat it up. Y'all so easily manipulated. That's why y'all ain't never going to get nothing. That's why y'all ain't never going to get nowhere. You always feeling sorry for yourself, and then you allow white folks like him to tell you how sorry your life been after you done went to Morehouse University. Like, huh? Where they do that at? It's weird. Ugh. Yes, someone should ask him why Obama didn't solve racism while he was in his office. Exactly, why he was there. Exactly. Yeah, why we didn't solve racism when we had the black president. But I guess the white president, he can make it happen. I don't know, y'all. It's weird. So everybody was talking about that graduation. I mean, people were talking about that graduation speech, but everybody was talking about the graduation speech that Harrison Buckner did, and I thought was amazing. So he did this 2 weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to report on it, but I definitely wanted to say my opinion. I think that if you accept Joe Biden's speech, then how do you not accept this? Listen to this, y'all.
The three-time Super Bowl champ is facing backlash for a speech that he gave at Benedictine College over the weekend. Watch some of this.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you.
Yep.
How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
What y'all, what is controversial about that? Like seriously. What's controversial about that? Like, I really want to ask these losers, like these like, what is controversial? That is the most exciting and wonderful thing that a person could ever do, is to bring a life and a family into this world, like to bring a life into this world and to grow a family. He said, and I quote, he said, women have been told the most diabolical lie. It is the truth. I read a statistic that said 25% of American women are on SSRIs. That means antidepressants. That means they are not happier with their dog. I don't care how much they tell you. They're not. They're not happier with their cats. They're not happier with their toys or their sex toys or their dildos that we promote. They're not happier in their gay relationships. They are sad and depressed and lonely because we were made to be wives. We were made to be moms. We were made to be dads. And yes, some people cannot physically have them, but yet and still making a family and making a life is the biggest thing. I don't care what career you have. Oh, I like my career. I like my career. Yeah, okay, that's the lies that he's talking about. Because I don't know a single person that would trade their children for their career unless they are just stupid. Unless they got some serious problems. Yes, they are jealous of real relationships. Exactly. They're dogging their career, making a lot of money and spending it on therapy. Making tons of money and spending it on therapy. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Keep going, Mr. Buckner.
I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation.
Period.
And embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Yes. Let's not get it twisted. He said one of the most important titles at all. Like, people are making it like, oh, his wife is a homemaker. His wife is a homemaker. I'm sure his wife does plenty of things. I'm sure he is the man that he is today because the wife probably manages the books. They probably have some small businesses. They probably run household things. But his wife's most important job is a homemaker. And thank God that he's able to provide that. A lot of men in today's time would love to provide that for their wives, but women have bought into the lie that I don't want to be home. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck with all these kids. Like, that is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You know? Yeah, there should be more women watching. There should be more watching videos and subscribe. Absolutely. So you share, okay? You share it, Wounds. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's watch what he says. This is to me the most important part.
Plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities.
Wow.
As men, we set the tone of the culture. Be unapologetic in your masculinity.
Yes.
Fighting against the cultural emasculation of men.
Yes. All of that. All of that. All of that. Fighting against the culture that wants to have men as a blibbering idiot. You see it all over the TV. Mom's in charge. Dad's a dummy. Mom's the boss. Mom knows. Dad doesn't know anything. Dad's walking around. Like, me and my husband, and it's not even, you guys, it's not even just us. We were watching Aladdin, you guys. You remember the Sultan? The little fat Sultan, Princess Jasmine's dad was just walking around like, oh, I didn't even understand. Jafar, you're going to marry him. Oh, the birdie. Like, this is the culture that we're pushing on men, that they're dumb. And people don't understand, and I don't even think that men understand, that men are statistically smarter than women. They have higher IQs than women. That's a fact. Go look it up. Go Google it. Men are just as smart, if not smarter, than their wives. We have to rely on men for survival. We have to rely on. This society has taught us that we don't need men, and we have seen the results of it, and it sucks. Look in the black community where the men have been completely emasculated, almost erased. Like, you can't find a black man that's not on a corner nowhere. People say, oh, there's no good men. Oh, or there's no men. They say there's no men. Oh, yes, they are in prison and on the corner and dealing drugs. Like, I live in Baltimore. If you go down the streets of Baltimore, you will find more men than you ever thought even existed in the black community. They're not productive. They're not valued. They're not uplifted. They're not educated. They are human, like, carcasses. They are carcasses. They are good as dead because they have bought the lie that they're not necessary. Nobody needs them. And you guys, we have to fix that or we are not going to have a country. So I'm so glad that he stood up and actually said it. And I want more men to get behind him and say those things that need to be said. Men are the leaders of the culture. Men control. Men create order. Men say no. Men say, no, we're not doing this. We're not having LGBTQ flags flying up in the classroom. No, we will not have books on sexual immorality in my kid's school. Men set order, and men have lost their place. And I am glad that Buckner is saying this, and hopefully it wakes some of our men up to say, absolutely not under our watch. God bless the men that stand up and fight and say no. May you teach the younger ones, because if not, women are going to be like the death of this country. Women leaders have done a poor job in this country, and it's just the truth. It's just, we need to be honest about it. It's the truth. We have not done a good job. because it's not to be made, it's not to be done alone. You need men. The cultural emasculation of men. Be unapologetically masculine. Be unapologetically a man. You guys, we got to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed listening. I love talking to you. I'm so excited that I get to do this. This is the best thing in the world. I'm so grateful that you guys listen. I'm so grateful that y'all join me. We are going to talk about all this mess again on tomorrow. I will see you guys later. And until next time, peace.
When it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl searching for the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl. When it just makes sense, it's your red-pilled brown girl. And get into the truth. It's your red-pilled brown girl.